Brazil, marble from Italy. The bells in the bell tower were imported from Moscow, and they really compensated big time for the missing bell in the other church, because here the heaviest bell actually weighs 12 tons. The smallest one is only 10 kilos. And they actually say that if all the bells in the bell tower ring at the same time, all the windows of the surrounding buildings will break down. So as far as I know, they've never tried it. It's entirely painted in the inside. It can fit about 5,000 people. There's also a great icon museum, underground icon museum, with a great collection of Bulgarian icons. And it really is the symbol of the third Bulgarian state that we still live in to this very day. The name of the church has always been the same throughout all these years, with exception of a few years during World War I, when we were fighting at the opposite side of Russia, and the authorities at the time thought that it's a good idea to rename the church. And they did rename it to the Cathedral of Saint Cyril and Saint Methodius. So I would like to use this opportunity to actually tell you who these people are and why did we name our biggest church like that. And I like this will be the final story for me for the day, and I love using this as my final story because it's something that's very dear to all the Bulgarians, but it's also something that I think it's important that more people know about. How many of you, please be honest, have had problems reading our signs, reading our alphabet in the air? Alright, so this is like 90% of the people. Please do not hate our alphabet because we love it very much, and here I would like to tell you the story of it and why we're still using it to this very day. The Cyrillic alphabet that we use was actually invented in the 9th century, and at the time there was kind of like a rivalry going on between Rome and Constantinople of who is going to evangelize the yet non-Christian countries, and those are mainly the Slavic countries of Eastern Europe. So people from Constantinople got this smart idea to give the Slavic people their own alphabet so that they could feel closer to God in their own language, because at the time it was only allowed to preach in Greek, Latin and Hebrew, and the Slavic people didn't really speak any of those. So they hired two brothers, half Greek, half Slavic, Saint Cyril and Saint Methodius for their names, and they send them to roughly where the Czech Republic is nowadays to invent an alphabet for the people there. But since they were preaching in a language that was not allowed, they were chased away from that area. And they did manage to create one alphabet called the Glagolitic alphabet, but it was too complicated. You know, one letter would take you like 5 minutes to write. We needed something simpler. One of their students, however, a guy by the name of Saint Kliment Ohridsky, which also happens to be the name of the first ever university in Bulgaria. That's the Sofia University, just a 2-minute walk in that direction. You'll see it, a beautiful building with a blue rooftop. So this guy was invited by the Bulgarian king at the time to come to Bulgaria and to develop an alphabet for the Bulgarian people. And that's probably one of the best decisions that any of our rulers has ever taken, because this guy, he came to Bulgaria, and by using elements of the Greek, Latin, and this initial alphabet that the two brothers created, he managed to develop what we now know as the Cyrillic alphabet. So I will have to say this, contrary to popular belief, and I don't know how many times people have asked me, so why are you guys using the Russian alphabet? Well, we are actually very, very, very proud to be the birthplace of the Cyrillic alphabet here in Bulgaria in the 9th century, also to be the very first country to use it, and we consider this as one of our biggest contributions to the world, because this alphabet is nowadays used by more than 250 million people. Those are countries like Serbia, the Republic of Macedonia, Ukraine, Belarus, Russia of course being the biggest country that uses it, but even countries like Kazakhstan and Mongolia, which are much far east. So that's why this story is so important for us, and that's why I use it as my final speech. So now is the time for me to thank you very much. First of all, for joining the tour, for surviving until the end of the tour.
Yay. Pasa Dios, ¿y un ángel? Cristo. Un ángel. Jesús el de la cruz.
Alexander Cathedral.
What to terminal cast.